how you are. I think most of them are feeling slightly stressed, slightly disappointed, slightly confused, etc., etc. But if you are feeling all that, then this is somewhat you can say common feeling. It's okay. One scholar is replying that feeling like pressure cooker. Apart from that, I am okay. How are you? Then I will say same. Why assignment on Proctor? My PC got shut down in every 40 minutes. See, actually, we have talked to senior management regarding this. Possibly that proctoring of assignment will be suspended shortly. Whatever be the update, we will share you. But regarding this, we have already raised the concern. Regarding this, we have already raised the concern. Anything else? Anybody facing any difficulty, problem, they can ask. Seems everything okay. Seems everything okay. That's good. So MySQL is already on. PPT is already opened, and Notepad is also opened. So let me share my screen to you. Please do let me know. Audio, screen, and camera. All three signals okay? All okay? That's good. That's good. So it's good to be in action. See, in the yesterday's class, we were talking about the concept of, actually, you can say that selection statements. In the selection statement, where clause was there. In where clause, some lot of varieties were there. We were starting with the relational operator. Then it was between and. Then there was actually like operator available, unavailable, not unavailable. Is null, is not null was also there. And thereafter, we talk about the single row function as well as about the multi-row functions. And after single row, multi-row functions, there were special functions available. They were also part of our curriculum. And after the single row and the multi-row function, finally, we were having discussion that was about the group by and the having clause. And during the same part, there was actually one trick. I told you that from June, we're gonna have salary doubled. Okay, this is a trick only. Do not take it seriously, but you have to remember this trick. And it says that from clause is going to be executed first. After the from clause, then join is executed. Then actually from June, then where clause is executed. Then group by is there, having is there, select is there, distinct is there, and order by is there. And there is one more clause available that is called limit clause. And limit clause is the clause that is going to be executed at last. Limit clause is one clause that is going to be executed always at the last. So let me talk about the remaining sections. Into the remaining sections. Into the remaining section. So let me clarify the agenda of today first. If I'm talking about the agenda of class for today, then we are going to complete the first, a simple part. This simple part is actually what referred as subquery. After subquery, I will discuss to you about one more topic that is called transaction. And after transaction, we will go for join operations. This is what somewhat main agenda is. Subquery is something that you can call, this is actually very easy operation. You will not face any difficulty. Similarly, if I'm talking about transaction, transaction is also I put under the category of very easy. If I'm talking about join operation, then join operation I used to put under the category of moderate. But the good thing is that this topic is practically very small. And again, if I'm talking about the key to master the MySQL or key to master the SQL, it's all about your assignments. Assignment is something that you have to do to perform well into your evaluation. And aspirant 01 evaluation is already a certification of this, that assignments are more than extremely important. So let me talk about the concepts. So this part we have already done. Join operation is already done. Sorry, this operation is already done for us. Now I'm talking about subquery part. Now I'm talking about subquery part. Regarding the subquery part, everyone, some small pointers that actually we should understand. If I'm talking about the word subquery, then definitely the word itself is sufficient to tell us that we are going to talk about a query that is available inside another query. It is query that is available inside another query. So let me start with a very basic example that will help you to understand why exactly the subquery is actually needed. So let me take one very simple question directly. The question I have taken is line number 10. Write a query to find record of students whose percentage is maximum among all scholars. So here, one possible answer that initially flashed in everyone's mind is that we should write down select star from. What is the name of table? Name of the table is ST. Then we should mention that where 10th underscore percentage equal to maximum of 10th underscore percentage. This is one query that actually flashed into everyone's mind immediately. Okay, let us try to actually execute this query. So first of all, I have copied this query. Coming to MySQL. After coming to MySQL, I am already available in SB101 block 25 database and running this query, hitting enter. And once I hit the enter, then you can see that there is an error available. It shows error 4 times 1, invalid use of group by function. And reason is something that is already known to you. Reason is something that is already known to you. Reason is actually very simple, that whenever you are using where clause, then where clause and aggregate function, they cannot be mixed up. Remember this rule? Why there is an error? Hash is for comment. So definitely the above query is error because we cannot use aggregate function with we cannot use aggregate function with where clause. Not allowed, not allowed, not allowed. So now the thing arises that, sir, how to find out the answer? So I will say, see, first of all, I'm writing a query. The query that I'm writing is select maximum of 10th underscore percentage from. Uh, the name of the table is ST. The name of the table is ST. Copy here, coming here, right click, hitting enter, and I'm getting the answer. It is 79.36 is the answer that we are already finding. So if I'm talking about the result of this query, the result of this query is 79.36. What I can do? I can write down that select star from ST. I can write down select star from ST. Then we should write down where 10th underscore percentage equal to the value should be 79.36. So if I'm writing query into the two parts, looks like that I'm getting the correct answer. But the problem is that let's say that you are working on a real-time database. In a real-time database, there is possibility that in every 3 seconds, some entries in every second, some entries are getting inserted, some entries are getting updated, some entries are getting deleted. So in this condition, if you are writing the same query in the two different steps, step number one, you are finding the maximum percentage, then you are remembering the result of maximum percentage in your mind, and then you are writing the second query, which is not a good decision, and it will actually lead to result according to some not updated data or according to some old data. So what is the solution available? The solution is actually extremely easy. And this time you will say that, sir, just do one thing. Instead of 79.36, instead of 79.36, just write down this query and done. Just write down this query and done. So if I'm talking about the exact way, then we have to write down select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage equal to. Then there is one more query available and the query says that select maximum of 10th percentage from ST. Once let us try to execute this query, copying this part, coming to MySQL, doing the right click and bracket is actually not a problem. The main problem is by mistake, I put a semicolon that actually create the problem for us. Hitting enter. Query working perfect. Query working perfect. So this time the highlighted portion is actually referred as the nested query and the remaining portion is referred as the outer query. And it is very easy to say that, sir, subquery or the nested query is going to be executed first, and once this query is getting executed, its result will be provided to the outer query. Getting my point? Everyone, concept clear of subquery? Because not everything you can do with the help of common queries that we have learned so far, and we will take a lot of example about the same. So let me write down the remaining things here. If I'm talking about the subquery, then definitely subquery is query inside another query. The second thing is that you can say that inner query is actually getting executed first, and its result is provided to outer query such that its result is provided to outer query, and definitely outer query may use the result for further computation. The outer query may use the result for further computation. This is one point. Now think where to write down subquery. So the thing is that the subquery can be actually written at 4 different clauses of select statement. So let me write down very first pointer. Let me write down very first pointer. You can write down it with the select clause in the select query. You can write down it with the select clause. Apart from that, you can write down the same with the from clause. Third thing, you can write down it with the where clause, example already taken. And fourth thing, you can write down the same within the having clause. One more pointer, definitely you can write subquery for. You may write down subquery for DML statements also. So this is what overall summarization regarding the subquery that we have taken. So once again, what was the problem? The problem is that write a query to find record of student whose percentage is maximum among all scholar. The very first solution that we have done is select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage equal to max of 10%. Definitely this query is error. Why this query is error? Because you cannot use aggregate function with the where clause. Second number point, if you are writing the solution manually, or if you are writing two different queries, then possible chances are there that you may not get result according to updated data. So overall your result may be wrong, or you can say that your result may not be the updated one. If we are talking about the exact solution, or if we are talking about the proper solution, then definitely the proper solution is to use the subquery where first this part is going to be executed, and definitely when this part is executed, then answer of this part will be 79.36. Once the answer is 79.36, so your outer query will automatically converted into select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage equal to 79.36. Is that clear? That's great. That's great. So this is one very simple example of the subquery, and definitely this is example of using subquery with the where clause. This is example of using subquery with the where clause. So the solution is using subquery with the where clause. So let us extend our example, and while extending our example, see there is one more query available of the same kind. The query line number 482. It says you need to write query to find record of a student whose percentage is more than maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. So very first part, first of all, I have to find out maximum percentage from all scholars of Karnataka. Then I have to make comparison. So very first query, or you can say that the nested part, I have to write down as select maximum of 10th underscore percentage from ST, where we have to write down that value of state must be same as Karnataka. This is the first part that I have written. Then you need to write down the query to find record of all students. So again, we have to write down select star from ST. Then we have to write down where 10th underscore percentage is more than this one. So can I say this is actually kind of repeat of the same query? One by one, it will be good to execute one by one. First of all, I am talking about the maximum percentage from the state of Karnataka. So if I'm talking about maximum percentage from the state of Karnataka, it is 79.42. It is 79.42. Then again, I'm executing this part and you can see I'm getting the result where scholars percentage is 79.36. So definitely it is more than 77.42. Query is working perfectly. Is that okay? Everybody, from this example, concept of subquery is clear. Type 1 on chat if it is clear. That's great. Mostly it is done. One or two scholars, those who are facing difficulty, please refer to other examples also that I'm going to perform. So this question is done. Line number 482. It was all about. Oh, see. First of all, everyone, those who are getting confused, they are requested to read the question very, very carefully. They are requested to read the question very, very carefully. The question says you need to write query to find record of students whose percentage is more than maximum percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. In this question, anywhere I have mentioned that I have to find out scholars only from Karnataka state. Everyone, have you read the question carefully? Those who are getting confused. Well, take a look at the next question. Take a look at the next question. The next question is that write query to display name, 10th percentage, average percentage, difference of students percentage to average percentage of all the students. So first of all, again, very obvious solution that is coming into the mind is that we should write down select name, comma 10th underscore percentage, comma AVG of 10th underscore percentage from ST. Let's say that I am solving only a small part. I'm not talking about the difference. If you are going to execute this query, then while executing this query, again, you will get error. Can anybody tell me why there is error? Can anybody tell me why there is error? Yes. Yesterday, actually, one thing that I told you, if you remember the group by and the having clause, then the columns, name and 10th percentage, you can call that these are the non-aggregate columns. But if I'm talking about average of 10th percentage, this is called aggregate column. And if you remember the rule, then I told you that if the select clause contains non-aggregate plus aggregate column together, then use of group by clause is compulsory. Remember? Have you gone through the PPT? The rules are clearly mentioned there. So this query is not going to work for you. This query is 100% wrong. Now, second thing, what to do? The thing is that again, you can use subquery. So for example, let's say if I'm writing select average of 10th percentage from ST and this is a subquery and the same subquery, I wanted to display the column heading as, for example, AVG underscore PER. So let us try to execute this query. Coming here, right click, hitting enter. Can you see? It is working perfect. So by default, aggregate plus non-aggregate column cannot be mixed up. But still, if you wanted to use, then definitely subquery is the only savior for you. Second part, difference of students percentage to average percentage. Difference of students percentage to average percentage. In this condition, comma, after comma, bracket open, bracket close. Sorry. Here, yeah, comma. Thereafter, I am talking about 10th underscore percentage minus. Then we have to write down that part. And this thing I wanted to display with the heading difference. So copying this query, coming to MySQL, right click, hitting enter. Please cross check the result if the difference is okay or not. Perfect it is. So this is the second case when we are actually using subquery in the select clause. This is the case when we are talking about subquery in the select clause. So this is the case when we are talking about subquery with the select clause. And previous was the case when we were talking about subquery with the where clause. Two things are done. Two things are done. Subquery with the where clause is done. Subquery with the select clause is done. Then we are talking about the next part. Into the next part, it says write a query to demonstrate subquery in the from clause. So first, very simple example I am writing. Let's say if I'm writing select name comma 10th underscore percentage comma email from, what is the name of the table? So let's say that name of the table is actually st. Can I say that this query is going to generate a table such that the table is going to contain only 3 columns and total number of records will be 9? Yes or no? Total number of records will be 9 and the table is going to contain 3 columns. Yes, it is. Then one more thing I am writing here. For example, let's say here if I'm writing select distinct distinct of 10th underscore percentage from. So this time, can you see I am not using any inbuilt table, but I am going to use the table that is generated using subquery. So can I say that this time we are using subquery in the from clause? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. So let us try to run this query, and I am running this query. Be ready for the error. Be ready for the error. Please take a look at the error message. Need alias. Need alias. So what is the rule? Just try to understand. This is a very simple thing. The simple thing is that after the from clause, practically you need a table name. This is a simple way of remembering the trick. After the from clause, you always need a table name. But the problem is that this time, instead of providing the table name, you are providing a subquery. The subquery is definitely generating a table, but it will be great or it is compulsory that you must provide an alias or you must provide a dummy name to the table. Once the dummy name to the table is provided, then you can see your query is working 100% okay. Is that clear? This is just only one thing you have to take care whenever you are using subquery with the from clause. Okay. So you need to alias the generated table. If you need to use alias the table generated by subquery, then only it is, it can be, then only it can be used with the from clause. Okay. This is the rule that actually you have to take care. Rule I am writing here also. Then going to next part, write a query to find record of all students whose percentage is maximum among all. This query is already done and solution is somewhat that is available here. Then let me go to the next query. The next query is write a query to find state and average of 10th percentage from all state such that include only those state whose average of 10th percentage is more than that of Karnataka. First thing, what I wanted to find out, I wanted to find out state. Second thing that I wanted to find out is average of 10th percentage. So by looking here, can I say this is the combination of aggregate plus non-aggregate column? And if this is combination of aggregate and non-aggregate column, then definitely I have to use group by. And because group by is always I have to use on the non-aggregate column, so definitely I have to use group by on the state. Clear it is? Remember the rule? That's great. Second number part. Second number part. So, okay, state and average of 10th percentage for all state is okay, such that you have to include only those states whose average of 10th percentage is more than that of Karnataka. So, simple question I'm asking you, do I have to use where clause option number 1 or having clause option number 2? Please write your opinion. Where clause option number 1, having clause option number 2. Lot of mix up responses, and mostly answers are unfortunately incorrect. Many of scholars are talking about where, many of the scholars are talking about both. So everyone, just read the question very carefully. See, if I'm talking about the first part, then the first part of this query is, sir, find out the average percentage for all scholars from Karnataka. So I will say, okay, the very first I'm writing is select AVG from ST, where state is having the value that you can call Karnataka. Okay, this part is going to provide me average percentage of all scholars who belong to state Karnataka. Now let me come to outer query. Into the outer query, the very first thing that I wanted to find out is the state name. And after the state name, then the next thing that I wanted to find out is going to be the 10th percentage. What is the name of the table? Name of the table is going to be ST. And definitely I have to perform group by. And this time, group by is going to be performed according to state. Read the line very carefully, such that you need to include only those states whose average of 10th percentage is more than that of Karnataka. So just read language and then tell me, do I have to filter individual record, or do I have to filter out entire group whose average percentage is less than that of Karnataka? Please answer. Waiting. Do I have to filter out individual records, option number 1, or do I have to filter out entire group whose average of 10th percentage is less than that of Karnataka? Definitely I have to filter out entire group, and whenever you wanted to apply condition on the entire group, then you are not having option to use where clause. You have to talk about having clause. Remember, yesterday we discussed about this difference, that where clauses used to apply filtration at the row level, but having clauses used to apply filter at the group level. And if you remember the trick, that from June we gonna have salary doubled. Okay, so definitely where clause is executed before group by, and if where clause is executed before group by, then how you can execute this query? If there is no group, there is no average percentage, how you can execute group, how you can execute where query, or how you can apply filtration? So your query or your exec query is going to be that is having average of 10th underscore percentage more than bracket open, then bracket close, semicolon, and then here. Copy. Then coming here, right click, hitting enter. And first, just for the sake of confirmation, whether the result is okay or not. So average percentage for of all scholars from Karnataka is 66.71. The query that I executed, complete query, I am getting the 3 records. The first is for Maharashtra, percentage is 77.24. Second is West Bengal, percentage is 74.69. The third is Haryana, percentage is 79.36. So can I say that query is working perfectly okay? Yes, it is. Let us check for the remaining states also. If I'm checking data for the remaining states, then actually you can see Karnataka 66.71. We need more. So definitely Karnataka is not part of the result. Rajasthan 33. Maharashtra is part of result. West Bengal is part of result. Kerala is not part of the result because it is having less than average of Karnataka. Average of Karnataka is 66.71, but for Kerala it is 66 only. Delhi 33, Punjab 33, Haryana is part of the result. So is that clear, everybody? When to use having clause and when to use where clause? Yes or no? Do assignments. Do assignments. Otherwise, SQL is very easy, yet it is very confusing. So this is an example of when we are using subquery with having clause. When we are using subquery with having clause. So 4 cases I told you that you can use subquery with the select clause, example given. You can use subquery with the from clause, example given, where clause, having clause. All the examples are given. Now the next part is available that you can write down subquery for the DML statement also. So let me talk about the example of the DML statement. Let us take the next query. For the next query, actually, I have to talk about a table. The name of the table is called product table and category table. This table is something that I am going to use shortly. So it will be good to create these tables. It will be good to create these tables. Okay, I'm creating these tables. So write a query to create table category. Actually, this is a special case. That's why I have to create it immediately. Otherwise, I used to cover this in the join operations. Category table, create table query is done. Perfect. Insert query. Perfect. Then I need to create the table for product. So nothing is special. Everything is already written here. Unnecessary. There is no logic of writing the things again and again. There is one issue. Actually, I haven't told you how to execute the foreign query. So once actually it will be good to stop it. It will be good to stop it. Well, coming to the second case, directly coming to this query I will cover. Don't worry. This query is pending. I will cover. But once, please take a look at the line number 532. In the line number 532, you can see add a record to the ST table with following data. Roll number 11, name PQR, email pqr@gmail.com, state Himachal Pradesh, and 10th percentage should be maximum of 10th percentage of all student. So definitely I have to write down insert into. Name of the table that I am writing is ST. Because we have to provide value for all the columns, so definitely column list is something we can skip. First value will be 11. Next value is going to be PQR. The next value is going to be pqr@gmail.com. For the state, the value is going to be Himachal Pradesh. Okay. Then I have to provide the maximum percentage of all scholars. So definitely to provide the maximum percentage of all scholars, we can write down that is select maximum of 10th underscore percentage from ST. Comfortable everybody? Please read the query. Please read the query. Shall I try to execute? Error message is there. And the error message is that you cannot specify the target table ST for update in the from clause. What is the mean of this query is, just try to understand. If I'm talking about the nested query, then the nested query is applicable on the ST table. And if I'm talking about the outer query, then outer query is also applicable on the ST table. Whenever you are using subquery in the DML statement, such that the outer query and inner query, they are applicable on the same table. In this condition, again, you have to perform aliasing. Again, you have to perform aliasing. So for example, I have alias the result, and after aliasing the result, once again, I am trying to execute this query. After aliasing, again, I am trying to execute, sorry, one second. Query executed. Aliasing, you have to provide here. Aliasing, you have to provide here. So rule I am writing for you. Yes, please actually go through this rule, line number 535, then read this query. go through the rule in line number 535, and then actually you have to go through the query. See, what is the rule? In case of DML statement, if outer query and inner query are applied in both table, then you have to give alias to table name in the subquery. You have to give alias to table name in the subquery. What is the mean of aliasing? Aliasing is all about giving a temporary new name to a table or column. This thing is clear. Alias is all about giving a new name to a table or column temporarily. So the rule says, in case of DML statement, if outer query, inner query both are applied on the same table, then in the subquery, you have to give alias to table name. So take a look here. I am writing select maximum of percentage from ST S. So don't you think that table ST is alias with the new name S? Yes or no? And this is the rule. But if your outer query and inner query both are applicable on the separate table, and if it is DML statement, then no problem. Then no problem, it will work 100% okay. No need to do alias in this condition. So this is one exceptional rule that I have inserted here. Clear everyone? That you can use subquery with the insert statement also. And this is the only special case that I have covered as of now. Okay. Then going to next part. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than average of 10th percentage of all scholars. So you will say, sir, same query it is. Same query it is. Like this query we have written. Exactly same query we have to write down here. And this time we have to, instead of max, we have to use average. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the average of 10th percentage of all scholars. Okay. So coming on MySQL, if I'm talking about average of 10th percentage, average of 10th percentage is 60.907 for all the scholars. And then if I'm executing this query, copy, right click, hitting enter, and select star from ST where 10th percentage should be more than. Sorry. This is the common mistake that I always made. See, so you can see in the result, all scholars are here whose percentage is more than 60.907. Clear it is? So again, this is an example of select query with the where clause. Simple one it is, but this time we are using greater than operator. This time we are using greater than operator. Take a look at the next query. The next query is line number 551. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to 10th percentage from the scholars of Karnataka. Question is, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is not equal to 10th percentage from the scholars of Karnataka. So first of all, I have to find out 10th percentage from the scholar of Karnataka. So I am writing select 10th underscore percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. So very first question, if I'm running this query, how many entries are there? 2 entries are there. And when 2 entries are available there, then definitely, if you are writing the query somewhat like that is select star from ST, where 10th underscore percentage is not equal to this part. So let us try to execute this query. Can you see error messages there? Can you see error message? And in the error message, it shows that subquery returns more than one row. It shows subquery actually returns more than one row. And if your subquery is returning more than one row, Then problem is that using this not equal to operator, you can match against only a single value. You can match against only a single value. So definitely this query is error, because not equal to can match against a single value. Now the thing arises that, sir, is there any solution? I will say yes, there is a solution available, and you have already gone through the solution. The solution is that you should use the not in operator. We are talking about not equal to. So in case of not equal to, you should go through not in operator. So let me try to run this. Can you see? For the Karnataka, the percentage is 77.42 and 56.00. So this time, all records are available here, and you can see there is no scholar whose percentage is 56.00, and there is no scholar whose percentage is actually 77.42. It is 77.24, not 77.42. So this is what actually first query is. So overall the mantra is that if you wanted to check for equality or inequality, but if your subquery is returning multiple rows, then you have to use in and not in. Clear it is? So this is simple rule available. So let me write down this rule here, that if the subquery returns more than one row, then to check for equality and inequality, we have to use in and not in operators respectively. Yes, this is what rule actually available, because for a single value you can use, but for multiple value you cannot use. But now the question arises that, sir, if we wanted to match for greater than equal to, less than equal to, then is there any mechanism available? The answer is yes, mechanism is available. Now I am going to discuss you about the next question. See, line number 572. The line number 572 says, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. So for Karnataka, the percentage is 77.42 and 56.00. Question says, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. So let me take the test cases. The very first case I am writing, let's say percentage of the scholar is 33.00. So 33.00. Is it less than 56.00? Yes. Is it less than 77.42? Yes. Yes, it is. So definitely it will be part of the result for this percentage condition is true. Is that clear? Second case, for example, percentage is 66.00. 66.0, is it less than 56.00? No. 66.00, is it less than 77.42? Yes. So because this is the case of less than any, so ultimately the condition must be treated as true. This result will also be part of the result set. Yes or no? Clear, everyone? Let me talk about the third case. For example, let's say percentage is 85.00. Is 85 less than 56.00? No. Is 85 less than 77.42? Answer is no. So definitely this will not be part of the result. For this, answer is going to be false. So getting what is the mean of any? Meaning of any is it should be less than any of the available value. It is not required to be less than all the values. Is that clear? Simple English grammar it is. So, or logic, yes, you can say that it is a kind of or logic. Okay, let me logically simplify this. Practically, if I'm going to simplify this logic, then can I say that all the records whose percentage is less than 77.42, they will be part of the result? Yes, it is. So there are two ways to write down the query. One of the way to write down the query is that initially you should write down that select maximum of 10th underscore percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. where state equal to Karnataka. So you are writing first subquery where you are talking about the maximum percentage. After talking about the maximum percentage, you are writing that is select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage should be less than this one. This is first way of writing the query. So let us try this. Copy and coming to Mr. MySQL, right click, hitting enter. So you can see that I am having all the scholars whose percentage is less than 77.42. Can you check this? And even I am having a scholar from Karnataka also. Even I am having one scholar from Karnataka also. This is the first way to write down the query. Let me jump to the next one. Then I will come back again. Line number 588. Line number 588 says you that write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. For Karnataka, the percentage is 77.42. The next percentage is 56.00. So write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. So this time, first case, if I'm writing 85.00, 85.00, is it more than 77.42? Yes, it is. So definitely, is it more than 56.00? Yes, it is. So it will be part of the result. Let me talk about the next percentage. It is 66.00. 66.00. Is it more than 77.42? No. But is it more than 56.00? Yes. So it should be more than any. So definitely this will also be part of the result. Let me go to the third case. If it is 50.00, so 50.00 is more than 77.42? No. 50.00 more than 56.00, answer is no. So this time, can I say this will not be part of the result? This calculation clear to everyone? So this time, situation is opposite. Can I say that any scholar whose percentage is more than 56.00, he will be part of the result? Any scholar whose percentage is more than 56.00, he will be part of the result. So in this condition, how to write down the query? The very first part is you should use the min query that select minimum of 10th percentage from name of the table ST, where state is having the value that is called Karnataka. And thereafter we should write down select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage should be more than that one. Is that clear? So let me try this. Hitting enter. All the scholars you can see whose percentage is more than 56.00, they are part of the result. I hope this definition or how to find out this is clear to you. If everything is clear so far in the subquery, type 1 on the chat. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Subquery is not a tough topic. It is something that is repeat telecast of whatever we have done so far. So, two queries you have written, the queries are working perfect. Now let me write down these queries in a smarter way. How to write down this query into the smarter way? See, same query I'm going to write down again, coming back to previous question. The previous question is write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of any scholar of Karnataka. Less than. So simple logic. Let's say if I'm writing the query that is select 10th underscore percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. How many records will be available? 2 records. So can I say this is a case of multi-valued subquery? Yes, we can say. In case of multi-valued subquery, if directly you are going to write down, let's say, select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage should be less than any. So in this condition, do you think this query is okay? Error, because again, less than is used to match against a single value. Less than is used to match against a single value. So what is the solution available? The solution available here is you should use any operator. You should use any operator. So if you are using any operator, then definitely it should be less than any of the value that is returned by this query. And this query is returning us two value, that is 77.42 and 56.00. So if the percentage is less than 77.42, still it is okay. If it is less than 56.00, still it is okay. Overall, you can say, sir, if the percentage is less than 77.42, then it will be part of the result. Please check. Please check the result. All percentages less than 77.42. Yes or no? Yes, it is. Okay. Similarly, let me come here. Second query, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than the 10th percentage of any scholar from Karnataka. So this time you will say that, sir, instead of less than operator, just you need to write down greater than operator and you are done. And you are done. So query is select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage should be more than any. Select 10th underscore percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. The highlighted portion is going to give us the result 77.42 and 56.00. So if the percentage is more than 56.00, it is okay. Or if the percentage is more than 77.42, it is okay. Overall, if your percentage is more than 56.00, then it is okay. Let us just verify the result. Coming here, right click, hitting enter, and you can say that all the records are there whose percentage is more than 56.00. Queries are working same, but don't you think that while writing the previous query, you have to apply your more brain rather than writing the query using any operator? So that's why this is somewhat you can say smart behavior. This is what you can say somewhat that is smart behavior. Now let me come to the next case. I'm going to discuss about one more operator that is applicable for the multi-row subquery. Line number 621. Write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than 10th percentage of all scholars of Karnataka. This time it is not talking about any scholar. This time it is talking about all scholars. So again you will say that, sir, if we are writing the query that is select 10th underscore percentage from ST, where state is having the value that is called Karnataka. So in this condition, it will provide me one value 77.42. Then it will provide me next value that is going to be 56.00. So this time it should be write a query to find result of all scholars whose 10th percentage is more than 10th percentage of all scholars of Karnataka. So let me write down the test cases. First case, let's say if the percentage is 85.00, is 85.00 more than 77.00? Yes. Is it more than 56.00? Yes. So it is more than all scholars percentage. So answer is true. Let me go to the next case. Into the next case, for example, I am writing 77.00. Is it more than 56.00? Yes. Is it more than 77.42? No, answer is false. So definitely all condition is not there. So it will be false. Similarly, if I'm talking about 35.00, so for 35.00, the condition is going to be false. So ultimately it is reducing to greater than of the maximum. Yes or no? Ultimately it is going to greater than the maximum. So this time what exactly the query is going to be? First of all, actually we should do one thing. We should find out the maximum percentage. So we are writing select maximum of 10th percentage from ST where state equal to Karnataka. And then the thing that I'm writing is select star from ST where 10th underscore percentage is more than this one. 10th underscore percentage is more than this one. Copy. Coming here, right click, hitting enter. You can see that I am having two records such that both the records are having percentage more than 77.42. Is that okay? That's great. That's great. Let me come to the next query. Then I will again come back to the previous one. The query is write a query to find out the record of all the employees whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of all scholars of Karnataka. So definitely all scholars of Karnataka, one percentage is going to be 77.42. The next percentage is going to be 56.00. So let me talk about the case. The first case, if I'm writing 35.00. 35.00 less than 77.42, yes. 35.00 less than 56.00, yes. So definitely this will be part of the result set. Let me go to the next case. If I'm talking about the percentage 65.00, 65.00, is it less than 77.42? Yes. But is it less than 56.00? No. This is the case of all. So definitely the condition is going to be false. Second case. Third case, if I'm writing 85.00, is it less than all the values? You will say, sir, no, it is not less than even a single value. So definitely this condition is going to be false. So this time, can I say that it should be less than the minimum percentage from any scholar of Karnataka? It should be less than the minimum percentage from all scholars of Karnataka. So this time, if you wanted to write down the query, then you will say that's our previous query. We have to copy paste. Instead of the greater than symbol, we have to use the less than symbol. Instead of the max operator, we have to use the min operator here. Instead of the max operator, we have to write down the min operator here. So let us try to execute this query. Then I will show you the smart way of writing the same. So this time, less than 56.00, we are having only 3 records. All the 3 records are displayed here. If you wanted to write down the same query in a better manner, then how to write down the same query first of all? If you are writing select 10th underscore percentage from st where state equal to Karnataka. So definitely this query is going to provide us more than one value. Because this query is going to provide us more than one value, so definitely we cannot use conventional operator. But this time you can write down that is select star from st where 10th underscore percentage should be more than all bracket open and this subquery. It should be more than all and then this subquery. Copying this part, coming here, right click, hitting enter. Can you see result is same? Everyone, can you see that the result is same? Both queries are behaving in the same way. Same thing, if I wanted to go here, write a query to find record of all scholars whose 10th percentage is less than the 10th percentage of all scholars from Karnataka. So because it is talking about the less than, so this time you have to write down less than all. So and is somewhat that is behaving like and operator. Any is somewhat that is behaving like or operator. Getting my point? Clear it is. So overall in the subquery, what we have learned, in case of the subquery, we have learned that subquery is all about query inside another query. Inner query is getting executed first. Its result is provided to the outer query. You can use the subquery with the select statement as well as with the DML statement. In case of select statement, 4 clauses are there. All 4 examples cover. In case of DML statement, example is also covered. Apart from this, we have seen that a subquery can return a single value or multiple values. So I am writing a subquery can return a single value or it can return, or it will be good to write down that the subquery that actually returns a single value is called single row subquery. But on the other hand, the subquery that returns multiple value is called multi-row subquery. And definitely to compare, you can use greater than, less than, and greater than equal to, less than equal to, and not equal to compare the result of, single row subquery. To compare the result of single row subquery. This is the first point. And one more point, definitely, if you wanted to compare the result of the multi-row subquery, then to compare the result of the multi-row subquery, you have to use an operator, you have to use not an operator, you have to use any operator, or you have to use all operators. So is that clear, everybody? All points regarding the subquery are covered. Perfect. So whatever be the rules and regulations, all the rules and regulations are already mentioned here. And if I'm talking about the ultimate source of your knowledge, then definitely ultimate source of your knowledge is the PPT. In the PPT, just go one by one. Every rule is written here. Subquery is a query inside another query such that Subquery can be written inside the select from where and having clause. Subquery must be within the parenthesis. Subquery is executed first. Its result will be available within the, its result will be used by the outer query. Then it is writing that the subquery into the select clause should return only one column definitely. When subquery is used with the from clause, then temporary table will be generated, and this temporary table is not having any name. That's why it is mandatory to alias the result of subquery within the from clause. Same point. The table alias may or may not be used with the column names in the outer query. Second number point. If column aliasing is done into the inner query, then alias column name has to be used with the outer query. What is the mean of this statement? Just actually let me show you a quick example. In the quick example, when I was talking about the subquery with the from clause, in case of the subquery with the from clause, for example, let's say the query is select distinct 10th percentage from select name comma 10th percentage from email. This time, let's say I am using the aliasing the column. The Roman numbered 10th underscore percentage is renamed to 10 underscore percentage. If the column name is alias in the nested query, then the same column name you have to use in the outer query, then only your query will work. Getting my point? Simple logic it is, because it is generating a temporary table. In the temporary table, the second column name is 10 underscore percentage. If the second column name is 10 underscore percentage, then the same column name you have to use in the outer query. Make sense, everybody? This was the only point that is missing. Subquery can be written for the DML statement also. Aliasing is not required if the outer query and the inner query are applied in different table. But if they are applied on the same table, then it is necessary to use alias in the subquery. Point is already covered. The subquery that return only the one row is called single row subquery. The result of the single row subquery can be compared using this operator. The subquery that return multiple rows is called multiple row subquery, and all the results of multiple row subquery can be compared using in greater than, in, all, and any operator. Is that okay? All pointers covered? Covered. That's good. That's good. That's good. So first topic, that is subquery, it is covered. Very less things are new. It's all about a matter of slightly practice, nothing special. All that sheet along with the solved, it will be provided to you, don't worry. Then going to the next topic. The next topic is referred as transaction management. The next topic is referred as transaction management. First of all, let me show you what exactly the transaction is. Let me show you what exactly the transaction is. So let me take randomly two scholars. One scholar I am taking is Vikas, and another scholar I am taking is Ritik. These are the two scholars that are available for me. Assume, just assume, do not try to initiate. For example, Vikas wants to transfer 1000 rupees to account of Ritik, such that they are using net banking. If they are using net banking, in this condition, they will initiate their request, or Vikas will initiate the transfer. When Vikas is initiating the transfer, so let's say, in case of Vikas account, if I'm talking about the opening balance, then let's say that opening balance is 5,000. For Ritik account, if I'm talking about the opening balance, let's say opening balance is 2500. Now, Ritik initiated, now let's say Vikas initiated transfer. Vikas initiated transfer. When actually Vikas is initiating transfer, so definitely he will just fill the amount, adding the beneficiary, then clicking on the submit button, then transfer is initiated. Let's say that I am the database administrator. So what is my responsibility? Step number 1, I have to reduce balance of Vikas by 1000 rupee. Second, I have to increase balance of Ritik by 1000 rupees. So being as a database administrator, I have to write down the query. The query is going to be, let's say that update account set balance equal to balance minus 1000, where name equal to, let's say I am writing Vikas. This is my query number 1. The second query is going to be update account set balance equal to balance plus 1000 where name equal to Ritik. Clear everybody? How to perform this transfer? Yes, it is. That's good. Now let me take about some of the sample cases. One of the sample case, the query is actually started by a couple. The first query is completely executed, no problem. The first query is completely executed, no problem. The second query is also executed, no problem. Everything is okay, all is happy. And after in this case, if I'm talking about account balance, then definitely after this transfer, the account balance of Vikas is going to be 4,000, but the account balance of Ritik is going to be 35,000, 3,500. So in this condition, can I say before transfer, addition of their account balances, that is 5,000 plus 2,500, it is 7,500. After transfer, if I'm talking about the addition of their account balances, then addition of their account balances are again same. So can I say my database is in the consistent state? My transaction is completed successfully. Clear everybody? Okay. Let me go to the next case. Let me go to the next case. Again, opening balance for Vikas is, let's say, 5,000. Opening balance for Ritik is 2,500. Now what happened? The thing that happened is Ritik's opening account is 2,500. Case 2 is executed. Let's say that the first query is actually executed successfully, and suddenly before executing the second query, let's say that your database management system software is getting crashed, or maybe possible that there is a huge power failure, or maybe that there is operating system crash, or let's say that there is a power shock. Can you control any of the four? Can you control any of the four? Definitely no. Definitely no. And sometimes such kind of thing happen at the ATM also. You are performing the transaction, touch, 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 suddenly, hey, light off. Suddenly, light off. So listen. So DBMS actually when crashed, power failure, operating system crash, power is shock. So this time 1000 rupees are debited from the account of Vikas, but they are not credited to the Ritik's account. So in this condition, if I am talking about the addition of the account balance before starting the transaction, so you will say, sir, before starting the transaction, it was 7,500, but after transaction, it is turning actually 6,500, which is wrong. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So can I say you a very, very simple thing? The extremely simple thing here is either both the update statement should execute as a single unit, or the entire transaction should be cancelled. Will it be okay? Either both the statements should execute as a single unit, or if there is any problem, then the entire set of statements should be rollback, means there will be no change in the database. Is that okay? Yes, it is. So listen, this is what actually definition of the transaction is. A transaction actually refer to a set of related tasks that should be treated as a single unit, such that either all the tasks should be executed or all the tasks should be undone. Is that clear? There should be no concept of partial execution. This is the overall concept of transaction is. So meaning of transaction is clear. Okay, that's good. So now let me come back to the operations of transaction. So same story is written here. You can go through that story. But see here, a transaction is a sequential group of database manipulation operation which is performed as if it were a single unit work. In other words, a transaction will never be completed unless each individual operation within the group is successful. If any of the operation fail within the transaction, then definitely the entire transaction will fail. Same definition, yes or no? So everyone, meaning of transaction is clear. If it is clear, then type 1 on the chat. I need at least 60 responses. Repeated 5-6 names are there. And same scholars are writing one for multiple times. What happened? Don't you understand what is the meaning of transaction is? Okay. Okay. So everyone, in your life, in my life also, this situation happened that sometime you are performing transaction with the ATM, amount is getting deducted, and once the amount is getting deducted, but let's say amount is getting deducted, but money is not there in your hand. So after 4 or 5 days, automatically the money is getting credited into your account. Yes, it is. So definitely they are able to track, or they are able to actually cancel the entire transaction. So at least there is some mechanism to maintain that whether the transaction is successful or not. What if money is getting debited and bank is claiming, no, you have taken the money? Will it be a good situation? Definitely no. Definitely no. Okay. So whenever you are talking about a database management system that supports transaction, so the database management system that supports transaction, it must have 4 properties. The 4 properties are collectively referred as the ACID property, such that A actually refer to the atomicity, C actually refer to the consistency, I actually refer to the isolation, and D actually refer to the durability. D actually refer to the durability. So try to understand what is the mean of them. First of all, if I'm talking about the mean, that is called atomicity. So regarding the atomicity, just try to understand one pointer. See, can I say that atom word refer to a substance that cannot be decomposed further? I hope everybody agree with my definition. Atom is something that you cannot decompose further. Simple logic. It is 9th class chemistry, or it is a single unit that cannot be decomposed further. Okay. So can I say because a transaction is treated as a single unit, a transaction cannot be decomposed further. So can I say one transaction is equivalent to an atom? Yes, it is. And because of the property of atomicity, we used to say that either the entire transaction should be executed or the entire transaction should be undone. There should be no case of partial execution. Is that clear? How atomicity is an important property of a transaction? True. That's good. Then I'm talking about the next part, consistency. The example of consistency recently we have checked. Before transaction and after transaction, addition of account balance of both parties must be same. Can I say this is used to check consistency of the database? And the same example is available when actually you withdraw money from the ATM. Let's say that amount is debited from your account, but if the amount is not dispatched by the ATM machine, then can I say in case of failed transaction, before transaction and after transaction, addition of amount of your account plus ATM and addition of amount of your account plus ATM, it must be same. And banks are actually doing the same. They are not immediately refunding you money because they are matching both the entries, or they are matching the cash. Definitely, if you are claiming and there is a difference in the cash before and after in the transaction, then definitely your request is legitimated. Getting my point? What is the mean of consistency is? And that's why bank are taking 3 to 4 days normally, because they have to check the cash from the ATM machine. Then only they will be able to refund the money. Third thing is called isolation. Now try to understand what is the mean of isolation is. For example, let's say that this time I am having 3 person. Ritik is there, Vikas is there, and Abhirup is there. Let's say the situation is that I'm talking about the 3 cases. The 3 cases, one scholar is there, that is called Abhirup. One scholar is available, name is Vikas. One scholar is available, the name is Ritik. The situation is that let's say that Abhirup wanted to transfer 1000 rupees to Vikas account, and Ritik says that this time I also wanted to transfer 1000 rupees to Ritik's account. So can I say that there are multiple transactions into the Vikas account? Yes, it is. If there are multiple transactions into the Vikas account, then the rule always says that initially when transaction is taking place between Abhirup and Vikas, then Ritik has to wait until the transaction of Abhirup and Vikas is completed. Ritik cannot initiate the transaction for the Vikas account. So can I say when one record is participating in the transaction, then that record cannot participate in other transaction. as well as it is not accessible for others also. Yes or no? Very much like thread synchronization. Very much like thread synchronization. So simple record is that a transaction must be executed in isolation. A transaction must be executed in isolation once. If a record is participating in the transaction, then that record is kind of locked. It cannot participate in other transaction, nor other records are allowed to access the same. They have to wait. This is what isolation is. Finally, if I'm talking about the concept of durability, durability actually is all about trust. Yes or no? Simple logic. Durability is all about the trust and long lastingness. So for example, let's say Abhirup is transferred 1000 rupees to Vikas, and just after 1 minute, just after 1 minute, Vikas actually transferred 1000 rupees to Abhirup account. Some mathematician will say that, sir, why to maintain this entry? Better to remove this entry. Then I will say mathematically your concept is okay, but a transaction is durable. What is the mean of a transaction is durable? Once a transaction is done, means it is done. You cannot delete its entry. You cannot make it undone. Even no matter whether you are making reverse transaction immediately. If you are making reverse transaction immediately, still there will be two different entries. But once a transaction is done, you cannot remove its entry. Getting my point? So this is what durability is. So now asset property is clear for all. That's great. So this is what actually your asset property is. You can go through the PPT, read everything I have explained you. Everything I have explained you. One scholar is asking what is the mean of consistency is, can you please repeat? So please listen. Vikas wanted to transfer 1000 rupees to account of Ritik. Opening balance for Vikas is 5000. Opening balance for Ritik is 2500. Can I say that before starting of the transaction, addition of their account balance is addition of their account balance is 7500. Yes, it is. Vikas initiated transfer. Transfer is getting successful. Once the transfer is getting successful, then after transaction, addition of their account balances again 7500. So can I say that to check whether the database is in the consistent state or not, I am checking addition of their account balances. Yes or no? Because if after transaction addition of their account balances is different, means something went wrong, transaction is not successful. This is what actually consistency is. There can be multiple ways to check. I have taken just one example. There can be multiple ways to check. I have taken just one example. So this is what durability, isolation, etc., etc., etc. is. Let me talk about the queries of the transaction. For the queries of the transaction, see, so far, what is the case? So far, we have seen that, sir, whenever we are writing an update query, then change is done. Whenever we are writing the insert query, change is done. Whenever we are writing delete query, change is done. So whenever we are executing any DML statement, then changes are there in the database immediately. Yes or no? Can I say? Whenever we are writing any DML statement, then the changes are in the database permanently. Yes. And why this is happening? Because by default, in your database management system, auto commit is always on. By default, in your database, auto commit is always on. So because auto commit is always on, so whatever changes you are doing, they are permanent by default. You cannot roll back the changes. So question arises that, sir, how to perform this thing? I will say, okay, let us take an example. So first of all, I have to create a table. Name of the table is account. I have to create a table. Name of the table is account. In the account table, I wanted to maintain some information. Copy. Coming here, right click, hitting enter. Query executed. I need to insert two entries. So definitely to insert two entries, insert into account values. First value is provided. Then second value is also provided. And definitely string value is required to be within the quotation mark. So I am writing quotation marks here. Okay. Then copy this part, right click, hitting enter here, and I am writing select star from account. So one party is Dinesh, second party is Jayesh. Two parties are available for us. Let us move one by one. Take a look at line number 693. Say we wanted to transfer 1000 rupees from Dinesh account to Jayesh account. Make sure that transaction should be atomic. Write query for this. First of all, you will say that sir, you should write down the update query. So to write down the update query, you should write down that update account set. Update account set. Amount equal to amount minus 1000, where name equal to Dinesh. First query. Second query. Update account set amount equal to amount plus 1000, where name equal to Jayesh. Two update queries will be there. But right now, can I say that, sir, these two update queries are completely separate query? They are not part of any transaction. Why they are not part of any transaction? For example, first query is executed and suddenly let's say there is a failure. Then definitely whatever changes you have done, they are permanent. Whatever changes you have done, they are permanent because by default auto commit is on. So I am telling you the correct way. The correct way is everybody. First of all, you must write down the query. The query is start transaction. Once you have written the query start transaction, so you can say auto commit is suspended for a while. So because auto commit is suspended, so let's say that your first query is executed. It is executed, but changes are not permanent in the database. Second query is executed. Query is okay. Query is executed, but changes are not permanent in the database. Let's say if something went wrong, then definitely you can reverse the entire transaction. And if everything is okay, and if you wanted to make changes in the database permanently, then finally you have to write down the command that is called commit command. So let me discuss the cases. First case, transaction started means auto commit is off. First update query executed. So far changes are not permanent in the database. Before execution of the second query, let's say there is power failure, there is some tufan, bad, bhukamp, etc., etc. Your transaction will be automatically cancelled. Getting my point? Transaction started. First update query executed. If there is any problem, then your transaction will be cancelled automatically. And let's say if everything is perfect, first update query executed, so far no changes in the database. Second update query executed, so far no changes in the database. Finally, when commit statement is executed, then whatever changes you have done using the update query, they will be changed into the database permanently. Is that clear, everybody? Using start transaction, I can make the auto commit off for a while. And if I'm sure that yes, everything is okay, I wanted to commit my transaction, then to commit my transaction, you have to use commit keyword. Is that clear? Because if there is no failure, then definitely commit keyword will be executed. If there is no failure, then commit keyword will be executed. This is the first point. So start transaction, the query is working. Thereafter, writing the query, perfectly okay. Thereafter, writing the query, perfectly okay. Thereafter, finally, I am talking about the commit statement, perfectly okay. And then I am writing select star from name of the table account semicolon. Can you see? Addition of the account balances before transaction and addition of the account balances after transaction is same. So transaction is successful. Yes or no? That's great. Writing the next part. writing the next part. Line number 700. Say, we wanted to transfer INR 500 from the Dinesh account to Jayesh account. Use the rollback to cancel the transaction. This time I wanted to cancel the transaction. This time I wanted to cancel the transaction. So very first thing, I need to write down the start transaction. Yes, sir. This time I wanted to transfer 500 rupee. Same update query will be there. Same update query will be there. It is 500. I wanted to add 500 rupee to Jayesh account. Yes, it is. So this time it is going to be plus 500. Okay. Because I wanted to cancel the transaction. So this time instead of commit, I have to write down the query. The name of the query is rollback. So rollback is used to cancel whatever you have done after the start transaction. Is that clear? Rollback is used to cancel whatever you have done after start transaction. So right now, can I say that before starting of the transaction, the account balance of Dinesh is 3000. The account balance of Jayesh is 5000. So let me start the transaction once coming here. First thing, start transaction, perfect. Second thing, update, perfect. Third query, update, perfect. Right now here. For example, let's say if I'm writing select star from account, can you see that it looks like transaction is successful? Can you see it looks like that the transaction is successful? Yes, it is. Now let me do the rollback. And after doing the rollback, let me write down the same query again. Can you see? Actually, transaction was not committed. It was a temporary result. And once it is rollback, means the transaction is undone. And you can see that your transaction is getting cancelled because before transaction and after transaction, all the values are same. Yes or no? So this is what something I have done. Now let me go for the next part. If there are three parties available, then rollback will work. Yes, it will work. If there are three or four parties available, no matter how many parties available, your rollback will work always. Now let me go to the next case. Take a look at next case. Just after completing of the transaction, I'm going to give you break. Only two queries are there that I wanted to execute. Then break will be there for you. Don't worry. See the question. Say we wanted to transfer 500 rupee from Dinesh account to Jayesh account. Then INR 1000 again. Then INR 1000 again. So can you see this time I'm talking about two different transactions? The first transaction is going to be of the 500 rupee and the second transaction is going to be of 1000 rupees. Can you check this? Yes. Then take a look here. Use rollback to cancel the transaction of 1000 rupees, but transaction of 500 rupees should be committed. Write query for this. So this time, actually, I am saying that in a single transaction, internally there are multiple small transactions. In a single transaction, internally there are multiple small transactions, or there are internally two small transactions. We wanted to commit first transaction, but we wanted to undo second transaction. Yes or no? But now the question arises that, sir, how to do this thing? Then I will say, hold on. Have you seen everybody? For example, let's say that you are downloading some file, and during the download, let's say that file is 50% downloaded, and then your connection is getting terminated. Once again, when your connection is getting restored, then the download is not going to be started from the scratch, but your download will resume from where you have lost it. Yes or no? Yes, it is. So can I say whatever work is done? Then there is a concept of kind of marker that this part is done, put a marker. This part is done, put a marker. In future, if there is any crash, then definitely we can start the work from the latest marker. Yes or no? And will it be good if we can have same type of concept here? because our one transaction is having multiple small units. If first unit is executing successfully and if the second unit is failed, then instead of canceling the entire transaction, it will be good to cancel the second unit only. Yes or no? Clear it is. So for this thing, the term that I was using marker again and again, there is no term marker logically. Instead of marker, there is a term available that is called save point. So save point is a kind of marker that allow you to roll back up to a certain part. Getting my point? Save point is a kind of marker that allow you to roll back up to a certain part. So how to write down the transaction? Just try to understand. First of all, I am again writing start transaction. Initially, we wanted to transfer 500 rupee. Okay. Query for the 500 rupee is written here. After the query of the 500 rupee is written, then we are writing here save point a semicolon. Then we are writing here save point a semicolon. So I have inserted one marker or one save point whose name is a. I have inserted a marker or a save point whose name is a. Instead of a, you can write down your name also, no problem. Second part, I wanted to write down the query to perform transaction of 1000 rupee. I wanted to transfer 1000 rupee transaction. So here I need to write down 1000. Here also I need to write down 1000. Now listen very carefully. If I wanted to roll back only the second part, then definitely to roll back the second part, what I need to write down? I just need to write down rollback A. So whatever I have done after save point A, only this portion will be rollback, not your entire transaction. Getting my point? Clear everybody? How to perform the sequence? So in this manner, you can actually insert multiple save point. For example, I am inserting save point A. Then here I am inserting some save point B. After performing the save point B, for example, let's say that I am writing one more transaction. So there is a facility available. Till what part I wanted to cancel the transaction. If I wanted to cancel only up to part B, that's okay. If I wanted to cancel up to part A, that's okay. So if there are multiple save points available, then how you will identify a save point? Definitely you will identify a save point by its name. Is that okay? So let us try to execute this query. One, two, three, four, five. Rollback to A. The command is rollback to A. It is not rollback A, rollback to A. Then the command is available. The last one, commit. So listen, before starting of the transaction, can you see that 3000 and 5000 is there? Addition of the account balances is 8000. The transaction of 500 rupees should be successful, but the transaction of 1000 rupees is failed. Transaction of 1000 rupees is failed. So this time, can you check? Everything is smooth. The 1000 rupees transaction is cancelled, but the 500 rupee transaction is working perfect. So this is how you can actually divide your transaction into multiple phases. And once your transaction is divided into multiple phases, then no problem. You can roll back up to a certain part. The final query is available. Write a query to demonstrate effect of auto commit off. See, if you wanted to make the auto commit off, then to make the auto commit off, you need to write down set auto commit equal to 0. So listen, 2500 and 5500, setting the auto commit to 0. After setting the auto commit to 0, let me debit 1000 rupees from Dinesh account. Let me debit 1000 rupees from Dinesh account. So this time, if I'm writing select star from account, can you see it looks applicable? Can you see it looks applicable that 1000 rupees are debited from the account of Mr. Dinesh. So once I'm pressing exit, I'm starting my SQL command line client again, typing the password. After typing the password, using the database SB underscore 101 underscore block number 25 semicolon. Then I'm writing here that is select star from name of the table is account. Can you see? Dinesh account practically did not deducted anything. Why this happened? Because auto commit was off. So if auto commit is off, then definitely after writing every DML statement, you have to write down commit statement manually. Otherwise, your changes are not permanent. Is that okay? So you can say that start transaction. See, start transaction is kind of set auto commit equal to 0, but start transaction turn off the commit only for that transaction, not for the entire thing. On the other hand, if you are using set auto commit equal to 0, then you can say that, sir, whatever statements we are executing later on, for everything this is false. Is that clear? Set start transaction is kind of temporary auto commit off. But when you are setting set auto commit equal to off means it is off. Okay. Then final one point. Now I have restarted my database management system. I have restarted my MySQL command line client. Auto commit off that I set it earlier. It was applicable only for that session. It is not applicable for current session. Because as you are starting a new session, your auto commit is by default enabled. Is that okay? And definitely by default, your auto commit is enabled. So whatever update statement or whatever DML statement I am writing, they will automatically be effective. Is that clear? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, next part. Okay. One common thing that arises. See, one of the scholar actually applied some good brain. He says that, sir, can I drop a table? And after, let's say that I'm starting a transaction, repeating again. One scholar did one thing. He start transaction. After starting the transaction, he drop a table. And after dropping, he did rollback. And after the rollback, when he was writing the query that is show table, unfortunately, table was deleted permanently because transaction statements are applicable only for the DML statements. They are not applicable for DDL statement. Getting my point? What I want to say? So transactions are only for DML. For the DDL statement, it is always auto commit equal to 1. No matter whether you are writing them in the transaction or you are writing them outside the transaction, it is always enabled. Getting? So do not try transaction for the DDL statement. This is the ultimate mantra that I was telling you. Is that okay? Okay, well, one scholar is writing that out that, sir, auto commit is not clear. Auto commit is not clear. See, everyone, simple concept that I told you. If you are setting auto commit equal to 0, okay. Now, whatever DML statement you are writing, they will have no effect in the database until you call commit query. They will have no effect in the database until you call commit query. So for example, let's say I am writing delete from account where name equal to Dinesh. Account is deleted. Seems like that the account is deleted. If I'm writing here select star from account semicolon, select star from account semicolon, then it looks like that the record is getting deleted. But practically it is not. Practically it is not. So let me once exit my MySQL. Again, I am opening the MySQL command line client. Again, login. Thereafter, I'm using the database SB101, block number 25. And then I'm writing here, select star from account. Can you see? Delete query was not executed exactly. Why it was not executed exactly? Because auto commit was off. Is that okay? Now, and now because this is new session, so auto commit is by default on. Because this is a new session, so definitely auto commit is by default on. So transaction is the topic that is also committed or also completed. You will find all the things. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. So now, as per the agenda, subquery is done. Transaction is done. Now the next topic is available, that is called assignment. One scholar is writing how to check whether the auto commit is on or off. By default, auto commit is on. By default, the auto commit is on. Exec query you can check from internet, because I have never tried this. I have never tried this. You can check from the internet, but by default, auto commit is always on. Okay. So last part is join, and before join, it will be good for you to take a break. And today, something extra for you. Okay. I think it will be more than sufficient. Yes, all. Welcome back after a long break. So, moderate topic, but very small topic. It is join operation. See, so far, whatever queries we have executed, in all these queries, you find one common thing, that the source of information was only a single table. But this is not reality. Definitely, you are not going to store everything into a single table. Practically, it is impossible. In a practical or in a real life database, multiple different records are available, multiple different tables are available, and definitely every table is storing a particular type of information. But for the practical aspects, we have to fetch the information from multiple different tables. And if you wanted to fetch information from multiple different tables, then in this condition, you have to learn about the concept of joins. So very first thing, whenever we wanted to find information from more than one table, then we have to use join operation. Definition requirement is clear. Yes, that's good. That's good. So if I'm talking about the join operation, then definitely join operation, simple logic that used to fetch record from multiple table to fetch record from more than one table. If I'm talking about the types of join operation, then multiple type of join operations are available. The very first type of join operation is called cross join operation. The second type of operation is called inner join operation. The third type of operation is available, that is called left join operation. And the fourth type of join operation is also available, that is called right join operation. The final type of join operation is also available. The final type of join operation is also called the self join operation. So let me take a very simple example. First of all, definitely, if you wanted to fetch information from more than one table, then definitely among both tables, there must be something common. There must be something common among the both tables. So for example, let's say I'm taking a very simple example. The very simple example is, let's say one table is available. The name of the table is called category. Into the category table, one thing is available, cat underscore ID, and second thing is available, that is called cat underscore name. For the sake of consistency, some of the data I'm going to take as it is. Some of the data I'm going to take as it is. Huh. So let's say if I'm talking about the category, then let's say that category ID is 1. And for the category ID 1, if I'm talking about the name of the category is electronics. Similarly, if I'm talking about the second category, then the second category is, let's say that we are writing it as stationery. Third category, it is furniture. And the fourth category is going to be housekeeping goods. It will actually make the things easy to understand for you. That's why I'm using the same example. Okay, 5 entries are available here into the category table. Similar to the category table, there is one more table available. Name of the product table is called product table. Into the product table, the first column is available, that is called product ID. Second column is also available. The name of the second column is going to be product name. Name of the third column is MRP. Name of the fourth column is available, that is called manufacturing date. Name of the next is available, that is called category underscore ID. Let me insert some record into this. Let me insert some record into this. Record number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slightly some copy paste work is there that I have to do. And right now, actually, bracket are what I am bypassing. This is something that is really very boring. So, okay, table structure is available in front of you. And just by looking at this table structure, some of the common things that I am asking you. If I'm talking about the first product, that is Parker pen. For the first product, that is Parker pen, whose manufacturing date is 16 June 2022. Its category ID is 2. If its category ID is 2, then can I say it belongs to the stationery category? Can I say it belongs to the stationery category? Yes, it is. Simple logic. Similarly, if I'm talking about the next product, then for the next product, that is student chair, can I say that it belongs to the category furniture? Can I say it belongs to the category furniture? For the dark chocolate, can I say that it belongs to the category of food items? Can I say it belongs to the category that is called food items? Similarly, if I am talking about the microwave oven, can I say that it belongs to the first category, that is electronics? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Similarly, if I'm talking about air conditioner, then definitely air conditioner is again, that is belong to the category of electronics. So can I say, if I'm talking about the category underscore ID column, then the category underscore ID column and cat underscore ID column, they are somewhat that is related? Yes or no? They are somewhat related. Yes, it is relatable. They are. So see, if I'm talking about the previous table into the category table, if I am talking about the primary key, then can I say one very, very simple thing that cat underscore ID is working as a primary key here? Yes or no? Yes, it is. Similarly, if I'm talking about the product table, for the product table, can I say that prod underscore ID is the primary key? Yes, it is. Now let me talk about the next case. The next case is that if I am talking about the category underscore ID column, then I can say that category underscore ID column is referring to cat underscore ID column of the category table. So can I say this time the category underscore ID column is used to refer to cat underscore ID column, or this column is used to create association between two tables? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So whenever you are having such kind of columns, then definitely such kind of columns are what actually called foreign key. Such kind of things is what actually called foreign key. So if I'm talking about the foreign key column, then this time the foreign key column is category underscore ID. So let me talk about the foreign key slightly into the detail. The very first point regarding the foreign key is, as you can say that if I'm talking about the category underscore ID column, then can I say that it is taking all the values from the primary key column? For the foreign key column, can I say that it is taking all the values from the primary key column? Yes, it is. First number point. Second, can I say that apart from the value of the primary key column, it can also accept the value null? Yes, it is. Very simple. It can also accept the value that is called null. Okay, 2 pointers are covered. So first of all, value of the foreign key column will be any value from the reference column. Value of the foreign key column will be any value from the reference column, or it can have value null. Can I say this thing? So simple, we can write down for foreign key. Values are any value from reference column plus null. This is what actually I can write down. If I'm talking about the basic definition of the foreign key, then you can say that it is reference of actually primary key or the unique key column in another table. This is what definition of foreign key is. Means primary key column can also work as a foreign key, and definitely your unique key column It can also work as a foreign key. So both are allowed. Overall, foreign key is used to create association among the foreign key is used to create association among multiple tables. So everyone comfortable with all that definition? Yes, that's good. So whenever you are creating foreign key, now the question arises how to create foreign key and what are the other things available. The very first thing that we have seen is for foreign key, values are any value from the reference column plus it can have value null. Second thing is also available. Let's say if I'm telling you that say we do not want it to continue with the category furniture. So basically we are saying that we wanted to delete the furniture from the category table. If I'm going to delete furniture from the category table, then definitely student chair, it should also be deleted. Yes or no? Makes sense? Because if you are deleting furniture from the category table, and if you keep this entry as it is, then this entry is going to be an orphan entry. This entry is going to be an orphan entry. Orphan means kind of unreferenced entry. And definitely such kind of entry is completely out of the definition of foreign key. This is completely out of the definition of the foreign key. So the pointer is that whenever you are deleting any entry from the parent table, which table is the parent table? Here category is the parent table and product is the child table. The table which is having foreign key, it is called child table or secondary table or the slave table. The table which is having foreign primary key, it is called the parent table or master table or the primary table. So let me write down this thing also here. So in this relationship, if I'm talking about the category table, then the category table is called primary table. It is something that is called master table, or it is something that is you can call that parent table. Parent table. Parent table. On the other hand, if I'm talking about the next one, that let's say I'm talking about the product table, then the product table is somewhat you can call secondary table. It is something that is called slave table, or you can call it is actually referred as the child table. So according to this principle, can I say that whenever I am deleting any entry from the parent table, then all its corresponding entry or all its associated entry from the child table should also be deleted? Yes or no? So this is second point actually. If any entry from the parent table is deleted, then its associated entry, then it will be good to say then if any entry from the parent table is deleted, then make sure no associated entry is available in the child table. And to make sure the same, we have two different strategies. If I'm talking about the first strategy, then the first strategy is actually referred as set null, and second strategy is also available, that is called cascade. Cascade actually says that delete entries from the child table also, and set null says that set the foreign key columns value to null for all associated entries. Please check everyone. And collectively, this is something that is actually referred as referential integrity constraint. Collectively, this is what actually referred as referential integrity constraint. So whenever somebody is talking to you, what is the meaning of referential integrity constraint? Then you will say that this is a constraint that is applicable on the foreign key column. And it actually says us the two things. The very first thing that it says that all the value into the foreign key column, it will be available from the primary key column value or reference column value, or it can have value null. Second number point, if you are deleting any entry from the parent table, then make sure that there is no associated entry into the child table. How to ensure this? There are two strategies available. One strategy is to set null, and second strategy is to cascade. Set null means all the associated entries foreign key column will be null, and in case of cascade, all the associated entries will be deleted. Getting my point? Everyone, is that discussion clear? What is primary key? What is foreign key? What is primary table? What is secondary table? What is foreign key constraint? And what is referential integrity constraint? This is very important concept. Clear? That's great. That's great. That's great. So this is what actually foreign key concept is. Now, if I'm talking about this table structure, then this table structure suits me. So let me create this table structure. But first thing, how to add a foreign key? How to add a foreign key? So take a look at the PPT. Into the PPT, to add the foreign key using create table, you can see one thing: create table, table name, column name, data type, constraint name, column name, data type, constraint name, column name, data type, constraint name. Finally, you need to write down constraint name, and after constraint name you need to mention foreign key, and within the bracket you need to mention column name, then references, parent table name, referenced column name. The syntax is looking slightly complicated. Let me take an example. Let me take an example. So see everybody, write query to create table category. Category ID is the first column, integer, size is 6, its primary key. Category underscore name, varchar type it is, not null. So we are writing create table category, category ID integer 6 primary key, category name varchar 20 not null. So this is a simple query to create table. I think there will be no problem. Yes or no? Yes, it is. There will be no problem. And I think this table I have already created here. Okay, this table is already created here. Okay, first part is done. Second thing, you need to create table product such that product ID is integer 8 primary key, product name is varchar 20 not null, MRP is 777, manufacturing date is date not null, and category ID is required to be foreign key. If I wanted to make the category ID as a foreign key, then can you see? First constraint is a keyword. Constraint name, here you can write down any name. Here you can write down any name. So for example, let's say any name I am writing is fk underscore cat underscore product. Did you remember that I need constraint name whenever I wanted to drop constraint in future? Remember the query? Alter table name, drop constraint name. No, remember the practice on DDL statements. So constraint name, foreign key. Which column you wanted to make foreign key? I wanted to make category ID as foreign key. Okay. References. What is the name of the parent table? Name of the parent table is category. What is the reference column name? The name of the reference column name is cat underscore ID. Name of the reference column name is cat underscore ID. So please check the last two lines and compare it with the syntax that is available here. Please check. Matching or not? Constraint name can be anything, but it must not have a space. Constraint name can be anything. It must not have a space, comma. Same logics like variable name in Java. So see, so far when you were creating the primary key, so you are writing primary key along with the column name. When you wanted to apply not null, you are writing not null along with the column name. When you wanted to apply unique, then you are writing unique along with the column name. But can you see that foreign key is the only constraint that you cannot write down with the column name? You have to write down after all column definitions. Yes or no? Remaining all the constraint that you have learned so far, for all these constraints, you are writing constraint along with the column definition. But in case of foreign key, you have to write down the constraint definition after all the columns. And whenever you are writing constraint definition after all the columns, then this type of constraint is actually referred as column level constraint. This type of constraint is actually referred as the column level constraint. And when you are writing constraint name along with the column name, then this is actually called column level constraint. This is the one thing available. So let me try to run this query. Copy this part, coming to database, right click, hitting enter. You can say that query is okay. You can see that query is okay. Once. So let me write down the query DESC. And after DESC, I am writing product and the semicolon. Can you see category underscore ID such that the value of key is MUL? It shows that we are talking about foreign key. Clear everybody? How to check foreign key? Clear how to check foreign key? Okay. Now let me write down about the insert query. When I'm writing about the insert query, so copy this part, right click, copy this part, right click, hitting enter. So I'm writing here, select star from category semicolon. Then we are writing here that is select star from product semicolon, hitting enter. So again, Parker pen belong to the category electronics. Student chair belong to the category furniture. Dark chocolate belong to the category food items. Microwave oven and AC, they belong to the category furniture. Can I say that the last item footwear, it does not belong to any category? Can I say last item food item does not belong to any category? And can I say that housekeeping good is one category that does not have any item or that does not have any product? Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay. If the referential integrity constraint is applicable, let's say if the referential integrity constraint is applicable, and let's say that I am trying to insert a record. While trying to insert a record, let me write down ID is 7. Let's say name is Parker Pen. Everything is okay. And this time for category ID, if I'm writing value 6, what do you think? Will it be accepted? What do you think? Will it be accepted? Definitely answer is no. Definitely answer is no, because if it is added, then it is going to be an unreferenced entry. And if you wanted to create an unreferenced entry, then null is the only value that you can insert. Any other value is not allowed. So can I say that referential integrity constraint is working fine? Yes or no? Yes, it is perfectly okay. Second case, right now, if you try to delete any of the category except for housekeeping goods, then the deletion is not allowed by default. So for example, let's say if I'm writing that is delete from category where, if I'm writing delete from category where cat underscore ID equal to, let's say I'm writing the value 3, or let's say I'm writing the value 1. Delete from category where cat underscore ID equal to 1. Again, can you see that there is an error message? Can you see again there is error message? Why exactly it is saying? It is telling us that actually you are trying to delete electronics category, but for the electronics category already there is entries available. So by default deletion is not allowed. Is that okay? First you have to delete all the associated entry from the product table. Then only you will be able to delete. Is that clear everyone? One more thing that I wanted to tell you. One more thing I wanted to tell you. For example, let's say, let's say, let's say, let's say, right now, when I created the table product, so while creating the table product, I did not specify any delete strategy. When I did not specify any delete strategy, so you can see that if entry is available in the child table, then entry from the parent table cannot be deleted. Verified it is. By default, when no strategy is defined, then in this condition, if entry into the child table is available, then you cannot delete entry from the parent table. This is what default behavior is. But on the other hand, everybody, if you are writing here that is on underscore delete cascade, let's say if you have written on underscore delete cascade, then in this condition, if you delete entry from the category table, then all the entry from the product table will automatically be deleted. Getting my point? What is the mean of on delete cascade is? Everyone clear? There is one more option available. You can specify one more value, and this value is called set null. This time, if you delete any entry from the parent table, then foreign key entry for all the associated entries will be automatically null. Is that clear? How to specify the strategy? By default, there is no strategy, or by default, the strategy is restricted. By default, the strategy is restricted. This is what actually you need to specify. Later on, using alter table, if you wanted to specify, then you can specify also. Just check one thing. Then just check one thing. Can you see? Alter table, table name, add. After add, the same syntax is copied as it is. After add, the same syntax is getting copied as it is. Please check. Whatever syntax you are writing to create foreign key, the same syntax I have to copy as it is. Yes, it is. And if you wanted to drop the foreign key, then to drop the foreign key, you need to write down alter table table name, drop foreign key, and then name of constraint you wanted to mention. Now understand what is the rule of what is the need of this constraint name is. Okay. Okay. Simple question I am asking you. Can a table have more than one foreign key? Can a table have more than one foreign key? Yes, it is. Definitely. If a table is having more than one foreign key, and if you wanted to delete a particular foreign key, then definitely to delete the particular foreign key, you have to use the constraint name. Is that okay? Discussion is clear? Okay, that's good. That's good. So this is what actually foreign key is. Now, finally, we are coming about actually taking the data from multiple tables, and let me talk about the join operations. Let me talk about the join operations now. Okay, first query. Write query to apply cross join on both tables. So first of all, try to understand what is the behavior of cross join is. In case of the cross join, always keep in mind that degree of tables it is getting added. But on the other hand, if I'm talking about cardinality of the table, then cardinality of the table is actually getting multiplied. So please take a look. If I'm talking about the category table, for the category table, can I say that degree is 2? For the category table, can I say that the degree is 2? For the product table, can I say degree is 5? So result of the cross join will have the degree 7. Clear it is, first point. Second number point. If I'm talking about the category table, for the category table, can I say that cardinality is 5? Yes or no? Cardinality refer to number of rows. For the product table, can I say that cardinality is 6? So if I apply the cross join, then in the result, I will have 7 columns, but I will have 30 rows. Clear my point? Yes, it is. So the thing is that this join is actually least used, or you can say that almost not used. This join is least used or almost not used, but this join is actually referred as father of all join operations. This join is referred as father of all join operation. And let me write down the syntax. Yes. Why this is called father of all join operation? That I will explain you automatically when you will talk about this one. So see here, syntax I am writing. Syntax is select definitely column list from whatever be your table one, or we used to call it left table. Whatever table that you are writing on the left hand side of join operation, whatever table you are writing on the left hand side of join keyword, this is actually what referred as the left table. So you need to write down select star from left table, cross join, and then you need to mention right table. This is one syntax available. One more alternative syntax is also available. The alternative syntax is just you keep the left table and right table as comma separated. Just you keep the left table and right table as comma separated. So first thing you need to apply cross join on both the tables. To apply cross join on both the tables, for example, I am writing select star from. The name of the first table is category and name of the second table is product. Copy. Coming here, right click, hitting enter. Please count the number of columns. Please count the number of columns. Number of rows are already mentioned and it is highlighted. So result is verified. The degrees are getting added, but cardinality is multiplied. And this type of result is almost not useful anywhere. This type of result is not useful almost anywhere. Okay. Even if you are changing if you wanted to write down the next syntax, then definitely you can write down the next syntax also. Into the next syntax, just you need to, instead of cross join, you need to use comma. And this time, let's say that I am changing the sequence of table. So this time, can I say that product table is the left table, but category table is the right table? Yes or no? So coming here, right click, coming here, right click, hitting enter, hitting enter. No, any table can be left table, any table can be right table. So this time again, Can I say that number of rows are same? Cardinality of the result is also same, but only the difference is that here last time the first two columns are from the left table, then remaining columns are from the right table. Because you have changed the position of left table and right table, so can you see that first 5 records are from the left table, remaining 2 are from the right table? Yes or no? So left table, right table, any table can be left table, any table can be right table. It is depending on your demand, how you want it to place. So cross join is something that is almost not useful anywhere. But if I'm talking about the join that you will use mostly, this type of join is actually called inner join. This type of join is actually called inner join. And before this, if I'm talking about the cross join, then in the cross join, just please focus only onto the first set. Just focus only onto the first set. Can you see that by looking at the first set, every product entry is actually getting associated with every category entry? Yes or no? Every entry of product is now getting associated with entry of the product category, but which is something that is not useful. This is default behavior. We will not use this. Don't worry, this is not a productive join. The productive join is inner join. If I'm talking about the inner join, it is used to fetch only common entries from both table. It is used to fetch only common entries from participating tables. So what is the mean of common entries? So again, let's say that if I am writing that is select star from category and product, let's say that if I'm writing select star, oh, sure, select star from category, category semicolon, and then if I'm writing select star from product semicolon, this time can I say that first 4 entry of categories, they are common among both? Yes or no? First 4 entry of category table, they are common for both the tables. Make sense, everybody? Similarly, if I'm talking about the first 5 entries of the product table, then the first 5 entries or entries of the product table, they are common for both. Yes or no? So definitely, if I am going to apply inner join, then in the inner join, I am going to get total 5 records. Getting my point? Because they are the only matching. I'm going to get total 5 records. They are the only matching. One table is having 4, one table is having 5. We cannot left any common record. So definitely we will have 5 records. We will have only 5 records. So if I'm talking about the syntax, then what is the syntax? We have to write down. Select column list from. First we need to write down is the left table. After left table, then you need to use the column inner join. After inner join, then you have to write down right join. And after right join, you have to write down on. After writing on keyword, left table dot column name equal to right table dot column name. So in this condition, if I'm talking about the query, then for example, let's say if I am writing select star from, the very first table is called category table. Then we have to mention inner join. The name of the right table is called product table on. Then we have to mention that category dot cat underscore id equal to product dot category underscore id. Let me try to run this query. Coming here, right click. Can you check, everybody, how many records are available? 5 records. Any entry that is null? Any entry that is null? No. So can I say that it is talking about only common records? And this is something that is a very meaningful result. You are getting detail about each and every product along with its category. You can limit the number of columns also, no problem. You can limit the number of columns also, no problem. So this is what actually referred as the inner join. Regarding the inner join, there is one more syntax available. Regarding the inner join, there is one more syntax available. The alternative syntax available is you can write down select column list from left table comma right table. Then you have to write down where left table dot column name equal to right table dot column name. This is one more syntax that is available for you. So for example, let's say if you wanted to write down the syntax, then you have to use where clause. And after using the where clause, then here you are writing where category comma product. Let me come here. Copy, right click, hitting enter. Can you see same result is there? Yes, it is. So both syntaxes are there, but if I'm talking about the better choice, then definitely this syntax is somewhat you can call better choice because it is fast. Because it is fast. Let me come to the next join operation. The next join operation is referred to as the left join operation, and the left join operation used to says one thing. Left join operation used to says one thing. It is used to fetch all entries from left hand side table plus common entries from the participating table. It is used to fetch all entries from the left side table plus common entries from participating table. Syntax is again 100% same. Just you need to do one change. The change is that instead of using the left join keyword, you have to use, instead of using the inner join keyword, you have to use left join syntax. You have to use left join syntax. So let me write down the example. The example here is select star from category, select star from category. Instead of inner join, we have to mention the left join product on category.cat_id equal to product.prod_id. Let me try to run this. Query executed. First of all, category is left table and product is right table. Is that clear? Category is left table and product is right table. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. Now can you see that we are having all the entries from the category table such that housekeeping does not have any product. Still the entry is available here. But from the product table, I am having only common entries. So left join is clear. All the entries from the left table plus common entries from the right table. Concept clear. All the entries from the left table plus common entries from the right table. This is the simple concept that it is having. Finally, if I'm talking about the right join, then definitely right join is just opposite. Right join is just opposite. See here. It is used to fetch all entries from the right table plus common entries from the participating table. So you need to write down select column list from left table. Instead of left join, you have to use right join. Select star from category, right join product. Copy, right click, please check. Can you see? All the entries from the product table is available here. Can you see that all the entries from the product table is available here, but only common entries from the category table is there? Make sense, everyone? Yes or no? So join is a very easy operation, nothing special. Ultimately, you have to use inner join, left join, right join, or at max you are going to use self join, nothing special. Is that okay? Rest, this actually require only a practice. Rest, this actually require concept. Actually, the thing is that if you compare the result, then can I say whatever result I am getting from the inner join, left join, right join, all the results are already available into the cross join? Yes or no? All the joins results, they are already available in cross join. That's why I used to say that cross join is father of all the join operations. That's why I used to say that cross join is father of all the join operations. Okay, final topic is available, that is called self join. Relax, I'm not going to cover it today, hardly it will take 5 minutes. But if you are going to cover all the join operations already today, then it is going to be extremely easy for you. And tomorrow we will start with JDBC. Right now, if there you are having any doubt, then please feel free to ask. If there is no doubt, then please fill the feedback form and you are free to leave the meeting. We have done for today. Fill the feedback form and then you are free to leave the meeting. Content will be shared to you shortly. Let me turn off the recording.